Okay, so welcome everyone in person and online who's practicing with us today. When I learned how to become a yoga teacher in my yoga teacher training, we had this prayer of harmony, which is a song we would sing in the beginning of every class together, and I'm going to sing it for you today. First, I'll tell you the English meaning because it's in Sanskrit, so unless any of you know Sanskrit, you wouldn't you wouldn't know. The English meaning, it starts with some ohms. And then it says, may God protect us together, may God nourish us together, may we work together with great energy, may our studies be filled with brilliant light, may love and harmony dwell among us, Om, peace, peace, peace. So if I'm a little nervous because it's being recorded, or I just really want a class to go well, I will sing this. Sometimes you don't know it, and I sing it before you get here in my head, in the car on the way here, but this is my little prayer that everyone gets what they need out of practice today. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviram Karavavate Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vivishavahhe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So there you go. To start off today, let's go ahead and massage those feet. We know that our feet are so important in our yoga practice. We need to get them warmed up, wake them up, nurture them. And you can kind of warm up your legs. So I start with each foot. I like to squeeze fingertips into the middle line, the midline of the foot. It helps me wake up my foot. And then just some smoothing action after that. Sometimes pulling the toes back is helpful too. Smoothing the legs out. And the arms. Waking up our body, the thymus gland here for our immune system. And wake that up. Arms as well. The neck, scalp, face. Do some shoulder rolls. Now, those of you in class look pretty comfortable sitting, however you're sitting. But I know some people are more comfortable standing. So for the rest of our warm-up stretches, we're going to come to standing. Starting in mountain pose, we'll begin by warming up our diaphragm, our breathing muscle. So if you're not familiar with the diaphragm, it's just a flat muscle underneath your lungs. And as you send it down, or picture breathing into the lowest portion of your lungs, maybe you even feel like you're breathing into your belly. Start activating it. On its way up, it pushes the air up and out. So we inhale, sending it down. Exhale, letting it float up, pushing the air up and out. You can add your arms if you want to. Inhale, stretching. Exhale, there's a lift, abdominal lift. Inhale, we stretch. Exhale, we gently draw in and up. If you draw your chin in while you do this, you might hear that exhale as you draw in and up. Inhaling, you can stretch out your toes. Exhaling, placing them down, lifting the arches, lifting the abdomen. Inhale, we stretch. You can go at your own pace. Your arms don't need to match mine. Exhale, there's an upward movement energetically through our bodies on our exhale. So we inhale, stretch. One more time, see if you can feel that upward movement, lifting the arches, the knees, the pelvic floor, the abdominals up through the crown of the head. Inhale, stretching. Exhale, lifting. Navel to spine. Okay, one more. Drawing the abdominals in and up towards the heart. So let's move that chin in a little bit. Keep the diaphragmatic breathing going now and through the rest of the class. But we're also going to bring the chin in so we can tuck the chin. Hang the head, breathe into the back of the neck and upper back. Exhale, release tension. Start to bend the knees and roll down. Stretching, breathing into any area in the back that feels tense as you roll through it. Breathing deeply. Navel to spine on your exhales. Navel to heart, that's easier. Rolling down at your own pace. You can land on blocks if you have them. If you're using a chair for support at home, some people like to land on a chair. You'll get more of a stretch though if you're able to hang all the way down. On your inhales, you can come halfway up on your blocks or hands on your legs. Exhales, hanging down, releasing tension in your neck and shoulders. Inhales, come up, stretching the back of the legs. Exhale, releasing tension in the legs and otherwise. And let's bring the butt way down, knees deeply bent to stretch the low back. And we're going to uncurl up. Stretch when you get to the top. That was the slow-mo version. Inhale, a little back bend. And we'll do one more time, a little quicker this time. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, hands at sides, chin in, tuck and roll. Breathing into any area that you find that's tense on your way down. Just pause, breathe into it. Exhale, release that tension. Stretch out once you get to the bottom. Hang down, then butt down, belly in, uncurling all the way up. Feeling better already, right? All right, to stretch the front of the body, you want to keep the tail down, squeeze the glutes, that helps you keep the tail down. And we're going to inhale, looking up. Exhale, hands back to the heart. Again, inhale, looking up, tail down, heart lifts towards the ceiling this time. We'll do that again, and if you need to support your head weight, you can do that. Lifting the heart, tail down. Now we can put one hand behind the low back to, we'll do this one, to support that tail down process. One hand behind the head and open to the side, so you're stretching the front and side of the neck. Exhale, switch arms, inhale, stretching the front and side of the other side of the neck. Exhale. Yogi's choice here, stretching out the front of your body, front of your hips in whatever way feels good to you. Maybe you clasp your hands, maybe you support your head weight. And back to center on your exhales tends to help. Inhale, back bending, exhaling, back to center. So we're ready to begin some limbering warm-up to sun salutation series. And we'll start with blocks if you have them right here towards the front of your mat. I call this the warm-up series, and we'll be coming down on one knee. So be prepared for that. Feet hip distance apart, toes forward, heels back. Firming up your legs, tail down. We inhale, stretch. Maybe a baby back bend. Exhale, hinging at the hips. I grab my blocks. You can always grab your legs. Inhaling halfway or part way up. Exhale, coming down and stepping the right foot way back. So I'm doing my right foot, and if you're watching this video, I'm not mirroring you, so you don't have to look like you're mirroring me. But the right foot is way back, and you can just breathe right now, enjoying nice long sensation from your foot through your hip, your tail through your crown. And then on your exhale, set the knee down. Top of the shin also goes down. And you can grab your blocks if you have them to bring yourself up. Again, I'm pressing my shin and top of the foot down for stability. I know that some people get foot cramps, and so they might prefer to have the toes curled under or something different. But if you can press into that shin, it helps with balance. Also, if you picture an imaginary line, I'm going to take my arm here. You can do the same, pressing that leg into the arm. Navel drawing up to the spine is a good way to activate your core muscles. So I'll remove that arm and still feel that pressing towards that imaginary center line. Both your legs can be doing that. That might help activate your core with balance. Inhale. You can look straight ahead. Exhale. If this is hurting, you might want to back off, maybe not so far back with your knee, or maybe just stay here. For this next one, if you want to challenge it further, you can look up and you can press your hands together and you can reach back. Coming back down. We're going to lean back to stretch our hamstring. Inhale, heart reaches up over the toes. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Releasing tension. Point the toes. You can rotate, ankle stretch. From there, let's go ahead and bring the left knee back to meet the right. Move our blocks to the side of our mat. And try to be a long board from your knees through the crown of your head. So you want a nice, long, flat body from the knees through the crown of the head. You want your shoulders a little further forward, the tip of your shoulders a little further forward than your fingertips. So if you need to move your hands back, place your fingers spread out wide. Inhale nice and long. Exhale, bend the elbows, keeping them tucked in at the sides. And inhale back up. Yoga press. Inhale. And this time exhale, lowering down. Inhaling up. One more time. Inhale and exhale, lowering all the way down this time. Tucking the tail. We come to a baby or low cobra. Shoulders squeeze up and back and down. Again, tucking the tail protects that low back. You're lifting your heart up, your shoulders back and down. That's the basics with any back bend. And this one is challenging even though it's low, right? We shouldn't call it baby cobra. It could be called super challenging cobra. Inhale, lift, exhale. Let's go ahead and put our hands behind us and turn our head to the side, releasing tension. Breathing deeply into your back. In fact, I'd like us to come up onto our forearms. Go ahead and place your hand around the arm for placement. And actually, we're going to keep it there. And bring your toes, if you've got the type of toes that want to go out when you walk, if you like to walk duck-footed, we're going to bring those toes in. So you can rock on your hips to bring the toes in. And then walk the elbows out to where you can lift up and set down your chest so that half of your sternum is on the ground, half of your sternum is lifted. And then we're going to bring the shoulders back and down, the forehead on the forearms, and relax for a moment here, focusing on our diaphragmatic breath. Noticing the sensations when you inhale that you feel in your belly and in your back. Letting everything except your focus on your breathing fade away. Then we're going to take our arms behind us again, palms up, long to the crown of the head. Turn and look in the other direction. And breathe deeply into your back and neck, relaxing all tension. internal awareness going so that you're able to keep this relaxed state in your back and neck through our practice. We're going to bring our hands back down and slide them back so that our arms look like grasshopper arms. Like this. We're going to curl the toes underneath us. So it looks like we've got some grasshopper feet, maybe, I don't know. But this is grasshopper, tucking the tail, keeping it long, low back, flat. We're going to lift everything up off the ground. But notice that you can do that while keeping your neck relaxed. You can shake up any tension in your neck. What's working here is the glutes, the abs, the heart lifting, upper back squeezing together in a good way, shoulder blades active. Bring those hands up higher, keeping the elbows tucked in. Bring the legs up higher. Inhale, lift. Exhale, place the hands down and slide them forward to what we call seal. You're keeping your shoulders open here. Tail tucked, heart lifted. Smile, smiling seal. Great. Exhale, back down. Curl the toes underneath you and you can push back through tabletop to child's pose or active moving dog. Active moving dog is where you've got your, not active moving dog, puppy. So instead of child's pose, puppy is more active. It's like child's pose, but your toes are curled under. You're walking your fingertips out. You might even look up, which brings your heart and your chin towards the floor. And then you can come up to down dog. Your first time in down dog this morning, you might want to walk the dog. Try to move. It's hard to stay in the camera's view. I want you to be able to see my feet if you're looking on the camera. I'm bending one knee at a time. I actually like to bend opposite elbow and knee to warm up. If your hands get tired, your wrists get tired, you can come down to both forearms. That's called dolphin instead of down dog. And if you get tired of being upside down, you can put your knees down and come into child's pose. And this way, everybody gets to warm up at their own pace. When you're ready, reaching your butt away from your hands if you're in down dog or dolphin. Releasing your hamstrings from their tightness, letting the heels come to the ground. Looking up at your hands, you might choose to hop. I'm going to show you a hop. Maybe just hop a little bit. So bending the knees, looking up and hopping just a little bit. You can slide your hands back to meet your feet. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hanging down. Butt down, belly in, uncurling all the way up when you're ready. If that doesn't work for you, you can always simply step up. This, you can step up. Whatever works for you. For those following at home. I know you guys are too. All right, so for this one, we're gonna do the other side. So we'll once again start with the feet hip distance apart. Centering ourselves here. Inhale, sending your energy down, maybe visualizing energetic roots grown into the earth. Exhale, there's that lift, like the tree lifts towards the sky. Again, we inhale, stretch, and we exhale, there's a lift. One more time, inhale, stretch. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Hands on shins or on blocks, inhale, part way up. Exhale, your hands down or on your blocks. You're going to step the left foot back now. Wiggle that foot so it goes back as far as it will comfortably go. Your front knee is right over your front heel. And then you set the knee down. Now on the other side, we actually enjoyed a moment here lengthening out. So if you want to do that, inhale, lengthening before exhale, setting the knee down. Options here include staying down and just working on that tension in the hip flexor, coming up on the thigh, hands on the thigh, or using your blocks. Feel that navel to spine. Remember on the other side, we practice our imaginary line here that we're pressing towards with both legs, working on that core. And that helps support us when we decide to come up. If you're looking at something that's not moving in front of you, that's easier. If you decide to look up, that's harder. Tail down, back bend, pressing the hands together, up and back, releasing tension, releasing the position, shifting back. Inhale the heart up, reaching the heart past the toes before hinging at the hips, releasing the leg, pointing the toe, circles to stretch the ankle. Now we'll bring that knee back. Now remember last time how we did the yoga press on our knees? So we did a plank on our knees. You can repeat that, keeping the fingertips back probably further than you think. And if you're wondering about that, I'll explain. If your hands are here, you can't really get down. You can't bend your arms at a 90-degree angle. But if you shift forward, now you can bend your arms at a 90-degree angle. So we're going to do that now 3 times at your own pace, knees down or up, yogi's choice. Inhaling long, exhaling, bending the elbows. Inhaling long, exhale, bending the elbows. Inhale long. Maybe try knees, chest, and chin this time. That's where we put our knees down and we press our chest and our chin down. And then I'm going to run into my block, but as we inhale, we can swoop up maybe to a little bit of a higher cobra. If it's not working for you, you can set your elbows down to be in Sphinx, or you can go back to that original cobra we did. Find a cobra that challenges you. You need to keep your tail tucked to protect your low back. You can do your shoulders up and back and down. The shoulder blades are squeezing towards each other, and the heart is reaching forwards and up. Should be comfortable enough that you can breathe a few breaths and you can smile. If it's not, come down a little lower. You still get great benefits from being in Sphinx, for example, lifting that heart, squeezing the shoulder blades together and down the back. Last time I cued coming through table, which you can do again to go back to down dog, or you could push straight up into plank and then back to down dog. Yogi's choice. I like to shift my hips from side to side. My second down dog of the day. Maybe that'll feel good for you too. And then maybe you're ready to really start pressing your weight away from your hands. And releasing your heels towards the floor. So your 2 long lines of energy, one from your hand through your tail, the other from your heels through your hips. Releasing tension where it's unnecessary. Breathing deeply. When you're ready, looking up at your hands. So if you hop your butt up lightly, your feet will follow. Try to be as light as possible. And then we'll lengthen out, stretching long from our tail through our crown on an inhale, before hanging down on the exhale. Butt down, belly in, uncurling all the way up. You're a pro at that by now. When you get to the top, you can do any other kind of stretching your body's ready for. Okay. You can still use our blocks. Now for this one, if you are new to yoga, you're going to want to start with your feet hip distance apart. And I'm actually going to just angle my mat because I want the people watching the video to be able to see my front and my side. So if you're you're new to yoga, you might want to use the feet hip distance apart position. If you're trying to challenge yourself, it might be time to work your toes together. It's harder to balance that way, both when we start in mountain and when we come back to our warrior one. But you do want to be towards the front of your mat so that you can step back. Okay, a few more deep diaphragmatic breaths here. Send that diaphragm down. Exhale, zipping up, squeezing, especially if you've got your feet together, squeezing on your exhale. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, zipping up. One more time. Inhale, tail down, back bend if you're comfortable. Exhale, feeling that lift. And this time we'll swan dive down. Hinging at the hips. Coming down, hands on shins, inhaling part way up. Now maybe you use your blocks to help you step back to a warrior one. This would be a very basic warrior one, what I'm in now. You need to be able to come up. If that's not working for you, you might want to start from standing and just step back to whatever gives you steadiness. If you want more of a challenge, you can step back further, and you can even come onto the ball of your foot in the back. Remembering what we learned about navel to spine, our legs pressing an invisible center line. And same things with balance. Looking forward will be easier. If you want to really challenge yourself, you can look up. Exhale, hands back to the heart. Inhaling up and over to warrior two. So now we still have that front knee bent right over the ankle. I feel like my block's in the way of the camera. We might want to put that block in front of our face anyway. I'll show you why in a second. Our back toes are in a little closer to our middle line than our heel is. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, sinking down. All right, inhale, we can lift again. Exhale, sinking down. Chin in, top of the crown of the head. You can turn and look over the hand. This is our bring it pose. This is warrior, so if somebody's coming at you, you can turn your palm up and say, bring it, I got this. But nothing's coming at you, not today. So we'll bring the chin back in. I was going to show you the reason you might want to have the block here is if you're tight, if you're looking down and you see that your left knee is coming in, rather than staying out, you can use the right hand on the block and push, and sweep this whole inner thigh area. Pushing that knee away is a good inner groin, inner thigh stretch. Inhaling and exhaling to release tension. And we'll come back up. And we're going to reach our arms this way. You can slide this hand down, the straight leg, the other arm goes up, inhale, exhale, sinking down, side bend. Releasing tension here. If you want more of a challenge, firming up your body to support itself instead of using the hand on the leg, you can bring the other arm behind you in a little bind over your hip or in another type of peaceful warrior pose. You set your own challenge when you decide how low to go. Now we're going into side angle stretch, reaching over that bent knee, placing a hand or maybe even a forearm down on your thigh. Again, you set the challenge. Make sure your feet are comfortable and you feel stable. You're reaching through both sides of your body, nice and long. You need to be long on both sides of your body because there's a twist here. You're looking up under your arm, your rib cage spiraling towards the ceiling. And if you had an imaginary wall against you, you're leaning back towards that wall. So your body's in one plane, between two walls, I suppose. None of this, and no hip popping up. We're going to stay down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let's bring that top arm behind us and look for a block if you have one, because then we can come down, maybe straight leg first to do regular triangle, Inhale up. Hot triangle, as they call it, is where you bend your knee, and maybe that's easier. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling, embracing what is, because it is, so why not accept it? Exhale, letting go. Stress, tension. Finding peace. We're going to come down and switch hands. If you've got a block, it's going under the right hand now. Inhale, lengthening out. Exhale, we're going to be twisting in the other direction. So depending on your arm and leg length, you may or may not want to block here. We're lengthening through our spine as we twist to the other side. It might be easier for some people to put a knee down, especially if you don't have a block. You can put a knee down, lengthening through your spine, opening up. Lengthening and opening. Even if you don't like what is, the first step is to accepting it so that you can move past it. So just breathe deeply, let go any unnecessary tension, and then you can come out of the twist, setting the left hand down, and the knees go back. You remember this part from earlier? You can do some presses if you want to, otherwise just scooping. This time I'm going to show inhaling nice and long and scooping without putting my knees down. So first I'm going to shift my body forward so that I can bend my elbows better, keeping them tucked into my side. Inhale, exhale, lowering down and scooping up. Go to up dog this time where the legs don't even touch. And then I'll set them down to get a nice hip opener and high cobra. Tail down. Shoulders back, heart forward, chin in, support the neck. You can look up without having the chin out, and then you can keep it somewhat tucked in or support the neck. Keep breathing and smiling. If you need to come down a little lower, you can. I could come down to a seal right now. That might help me smile. Before seal was challenging, and now it's relaxing, right? You're gonna go back. If your low back hurts, you might pause in child's pose before down dog. So you can inhale through table or through plank, back to child's pose or down dog. And I'll do a little child's pose here myself. Stretching that low back, breathing into it. And then walking the fingertips forward, curling the toes under for puppy. And pressing up from there to a nice down dog. Releasing tension, down dog starting to get easier. Looking up at your hands, maybe the hop will get easier too, bending the knees to prepare for it. Inhale, exhale, hop. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, hang down. This time let's do a chair. If you can, feet together, squeezing the legs, sitting in your chair, navel to spine, inhaling up. Exhaling, hands to heart if you want, shoulders back and down, low back is flat. Inhale, exhale, and we'll inhale up out of that. And we'll do the other side. So that's inhale, stretch. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Hands on the shins. Inhaling part way up. Exhaling to warrior one. So again, if you were using blocks and that might have looked a little different, you might just step back to your warrior one, which could be like this. Try not to be on a balance beam if you're struggling with balance. Have a little width between your feet. If you want to challenge yourself even more, you can come down lower onto the ball of your foot. Once you've found your place where you want to work, pull the navel in, press the legs to the invisible line. The center line. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhaling up and over to warrior two. Checking your feet. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Chin in, top of the crown of the head. Turn your head to look over your front hand. Maybe palm up. Challenge it. Say, bring it. I'm ready. Got this. We're going to reach back. Hand slides down. Other hand goes up. We sink down. Enjoying a nice side stretch. Maybe holding our center strong without even using that supporting hand. We're going to reach over the bent knee, maybe placing the hand, maybe the forearm, coming down as low as you're comfortable, maybe adjusting your foot position. Come down a little bit lower. The wider your stance, the lower you can come. Lengthening through your spine, turning and looking up at the ceiling. Breathing deeply. If you want to bring your left hand behind you, you can. If you want to get on a block, you can do that triangle with a straight leg. I know my back's kind of to the camera right now. That inner thigh is tight. We didn't do it on this side, but you could always place the block in your left hand and open up that inner thigh by placing your right hand inside your right knee, sweeping across the inner thigh and pressing away. Sometimes it helps to come in and out of poses so that you don't get too tired in them. Other times it's good to just lengthen out and breathe. One breath to get in the pose, one breath to adjust and release tension, and then one pose just to be. I'm going to come down and do that twist in the other direction. So yogi's choice, whether to use a block or not, whether to be in high lunge or to set that knee down. Either way, you're putting the left hand down, the same side as the knee that's down or the leg that's back. You're lengthening from your crown through your tail and opening up. Maybe if you've got a knee down, try curling your toes underneath you and see if it makes any difference, or vice versa. Lengthening, breathing deeply, enjoying the pose, smiling. You're all smiling, right? Exhale. Hands down, stepping back, down, back. We're going slower today as I'm explaining everything for people I don't know, but on the other side of the camera, people who will watch online. But even as we go slow, you can get a really good workout, holding your muscles, staying in poses longer. You're getting isometric exercise as you press against invisible resistance. So you work on your diaphragmatic breathing, releasing stress in your body. Looking up at your hands, you can prepare to hop again. Remember, butt up, belly in, the knees and the feet follow. Lengthening out. So we've uncurled up, we've chaired up. Let's do a reverse swan dive up, navel to spine. That one doesn't feel as good, but some people like it, especially people who are really wanting to stretch. I think I'm going to have to go down again just to get my uncurl on. I like that a lot better. It's time for balance. Today we're just going to do a simple tree, which can be follow the foot down. And you can just bring that navel in, firm up that base leg, look at something that's not moving. Maybe just play with the idea of bringing those toes off the ground. If you're comfortable there, you can bring the leg up higher. As long as you're not putting sideways pressure on the knee, you can bring the leg up even higher. However high is comfortable for you. If you're comfortable raising your arms, you can make a Y. And that might help with balance as well. We are at the YMCA today. Chin tall to the crown of the head. Smiling, you're still smiling, right? It's hard to see through some of your masks, but I imagine you're smiling. If you want to challenge it further, you can go ahead and work to Warrior 3 and or airplane and or rocket person. Last but not least, a nice half moon. If you can grab a block, maybe rotate so you can see me a little better. Whoa. There you go. Very impressive. Yep. And especially after that one, I like to hang down, and I'll do my butt down, uncurl up, stretch my spine after that one. Ready to go the other side? So it's okay, wherever you're at, have compassion with yourself. Maybe you're staying low. Maybe you're coming up higher. Yogi's choice. You want to take some bar, B-A-R-R-E, ballet classes. This would be like a ballet move here instead of yoga, keeping the toe pointed. This is how we do it in yoga. And this is how we do it at the Y. Finding something that's not moving. Pulling your navel into the center line. Breathing deeply. When you're ready, moving into your Warrior 3. You can stay there and challenge yourself. That's the hardest of the three. You need to go to airplane. That's better. And a rocket person is nice because it pulls your shoulders away from your ears. And from there, half moon is where you make perpendicular lines with your body. And you're reaching long from your heel through your crown. Navel to spine, also the arms. This is a good one for the wall. So if at home you're struggling but you want to try it up against a wall. We don't have any walls in this room, so if you want to at home, you can go home and try this against a wall. After that one, it is a good idea to stretch. Okay. So we're done with the standing super active portion of our class. Any other standing stretches you want to get, go ahead and get them in. And I'll show you one way to come down. Not everybody likes it. It depends on how your knees are feeling. How I like to come down is just inhale up, exhale, coming onto the balls of my feet like this into a position called small. It's another balance, but it takes knees that are flexible. So you can do that one and even see if you can close your eyes, which might land you on your butt, which is where we're going anyway. So if you don't like that, you can just otherwise find a way to come down onto your buttocks. All right, inhaling up. Exhale, tuck the chin and roll down. And stretch. We're going to do some leg stretches. I highly recommend you have a strap to do your leg stretches, especially, if you're at home and you've got plenty of time to pause the video and go get a strap. Stretching a leg towards you. You can have the other leg knee bent or down. Yogi's choice. If you have a strap, and I'd meant to grab one, I'm just going to grab something really quick. foot and pull on the outside, the part that pulls the pinky toe side of your foot closer to you. And then you can inhale, toes to the nose, contract the quad to release the hamstring straight, and then exhale, over to the side, using your breath to stretch, release tension. You can do some circles. Again, you can do these even without a strap, but it's more ab work and less hip release. You can do smaller circles, go in both directions, working that hip mobility. And when you're done, you can switch hands with the strap, pulling the ball of the foot over the opposite shoulder now, still working the side of the foot, the pinky side closer to you, but toes reaching over the opposite shoulder. You'll feel an interesting stretch in the back of your leg. Be sure to breathe into it and release tension before moving on. And then we twist over. So you might want to lengthen that other leg before twisting over. You might want something to land on, like a block. You might want to release the strap and bend the knee, yogi's choice. If you're enjoying having the leg long with the strap, then enjoy that. You're going to lengthen through your spine and work your opposite hand over the outside of the knee that is twisting over. That'll help keep that knee down. Lengthening through your spine, turning and looking over the other arm. This is called reclined abdominal twist. My favorite. Release tension there. You're opening up the pec minor. You can use a hand to massage that even, stretching that area that wants to pull your shoulder into a rounded position. Press on that, open that up. Inhale into any good stretch, and so on your exhale you can release tension there. Might be feeling quite a lot in your hip and the outside of your leg as well. We're going to give ourselves a hug, hugging our knees, doing some knee circles, and switching legs. Easy as you set that leg down. If your hip flexors are yelling at you, you can massage out that tightness. And then again, we put the strap, if we have one, or a tie or a towel, several items you could have at home, in such a way that you're able to pull the ball of your foot towards you, contracting the quad, releasing the back of the leg, breathing. And on your exhale, out to the side, releasing tension there. And maybe you let that leg swing around and down and decided to start doing some circles. At that point, I do like to bring my other knee up to keep my low back flat. Yogi's choice there, depending on how strong you are. If you can pull that navel to spine, maybe you can keep that low back flat even with the other leg long. Try circles in both directions. And then switching hands with your strap, towel, tie, whatever you've got. You're going to pull on the side that's on the outside, right? Your pinky side of your foot. And remember to bring the toes over the opposite shoulder, releasing tension. Breathing deeply. When you're ready, moving into the twist. So if you land and you're comfortable with a nice long leg supported by the strap, great. If you need some more support, maybe try putting one of those blocks under your leg, even bending the knee. You can release the strap if you want to. You'll get more of a hip release that way. You're putting the opposite hand on the outside of the hip and leg to sweep and hold that down, lengthening through your spine, turning and looking over your other arm. Breathing deeply. Make sure it feels right to you. If it doesn't, adjust so that it does feel good. If it's not working for you whatsoever, you can just do a different kind of twist, maybe hugging your knees and stacking the knees on top of themselves. The idea is that you're stretching the outside of your hip, lengthening your spine, enjoying a twist, Maybe also getting a stretch here in your pec minor so that you don't walk out of here with shoulders that are rounded forward. So you need to use one hand to massage the other shoulder, that's fine. After releasing tension here, you will once again hug your knees. Little knee circles in both directions. It's always a good idea to do a little bridge work, feet flat. Rocking the pelvis, we inhale and the pelvis tips forward. As we exhale, we want to tip that pelvis back. Maybe curling an imaginary tail towards our nose. Lifting up. We're strengthening our glutes. Do any bridge practice you like, as long as you're lengthening through your spine, through your tail, and keeping your neck relaxed, nose to the ceiling. Especially the higher that you come up, more pressure on your upper back and neck. You don't want to be looking around. Just squeezing and lifting. And on your way down, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Keep curling that tail towards the nose and bringing one vertebrae at a time down. If you need to do that again, you can. Lengthening and lifting. It's okay to lift up one vertebrae at a time until even the chest lifts towards the chin. Some people like to work their arms under their shoulders and they feel like that helps them lift better. Pressing down with the arms. Keep a gentle curve under your neck. Nose to the ceiling. Relax. Face of neck, no matter how high you press up. If you want to do full wheel, that's also an option. If you don't like full wheel, maybe you want to try fish. Fish is where you put your wrists under your hips, your butt, hands or wrists, wherever you land. You get your low back flat, flex the feet. Inhale, and on your exhale, you lift your heart towards the ceiling, weight supported by your forearms, no weight on the head as you look back. It helps open your heart. Exhale, slowly and gently coming down. And then to set yourself up for Shavasana, I would, that's final relaxation, I would keep your knees up, feet down, kind of work your shoulder blades together. And then you're working your shoulder blades down your back. It might help to push yourself towards whatever is on the other side of the crown of your head. We're feeling those shoulder blades slide down your back. Then lifting that pelvis again, tilting it back and lengthening through your low back as you set it down. So you have a nice flat low back. Then you might bring your knees together and your feet out, which would give you a nice internal hip rotation and a way to relax, with your knees resting on each other. Alternatively, you can simply lower your legs down or lift them up on a ball or a chair for a little inversion while you're resting. Relax your body as much as possible. It might help to turn your head side to side to relax your neck. Breathe deeply into your body. Relaxing with each exhale, letting the body be heavy, fully supported by the ground beneath you. Now's a good time to do any self-massage that feels good. So I, for example, noticed my left shoulder felt a little wonky, so I'm massaging my left shoulder. You can also massage your face. idea is to set yourself up for success. So even if it's not shoulders back and down, set yourself up to where you can let go of all tension for even just 1 minute. You can let go of all tension for even just 1 minute and have huge beneficial effects. Let your forehead smooth out, releasing mental tension. Relax your face and neck and shoulders and arms, hands and wrists. Breathing deeply. Relax your torso, your hips, your legs. Imagine breathing all the way down to your toes and up and out through your nose. The whole body engaged in your breathing process. Just relax. Allow yourself to completely let go of everything for a minute. That way you'll come back so much stronger a minute later. Every inhale nurturing you with oxygen, prana. Every exhale detoxifying, releasing negative thought patterns, old emotions, carbon dioxide. Eventually you feel at peace, just completely at peace. And I pray that you keep this peace with you throughout the day, regardless of what happens to you. Your attitude, your energy is not coming from the outside, it's coming from within, and you've cultivated peace within. When you're ready, you might want to hug your knees. One more time. Some tiny knee circles to release the low back. You might even enjoy some gentle twisting or stretching, whatever feels good for you as you wake yourself up. Welcome yourself back into your day. You can roll onto one side and enjoy another moment of relaxation on one side if you like. Take your time. Coming all the way back to sitting when you're ready, not before. Once you get there, with your eyes closed, you've got that internal awareness. You can observe your breath, observe how your body feels. Observe how your mind and heart are. Very slowly open your eyes just enough to see the ground in front of you, keeping that internal awareness going so that you can take it with you through your whole day. Slowly opening your eyes a little bit more to bring in the external surroundings. Keeping some awareness on what's going on inside of you, because that's what you can control. And in yoga we say namaste, which means the light in me sees the light in you. So lift up gratitude for all of you. Thank you for practicing today.